is the Nerdlife Crisis Podcast with your hosts, that fine-ass Chris Thayer, that beautiful Steve Hill, and that big hunker chunk of meat, Ron Mills. Woo! Mama's hot up in here. Let's get this party started.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerdlife Crisis Podcast. Here with your host today,
Chris Thayer,
Steve Hill,
and I'm Ron Mills. We're back!
We're back, and you know what? I am actually feeling pretty beautiful right now. Thank you.
You know what? Well, if you've seen our new poster that we'll be premiering at our next con, you look very beautiful.
I am looking forward to the premiere of this poster. I was actually like, okay, that's fucking pretty cool.
I thought you were going to take a picture of it, bring it, dude.
I thought
you were.
Chris,
cool,
Chris went above and beyond for our new artwork for the poster, as it were. It's us as the Avengers, and Steve is front and center as the Incredible Hulk. And
I love it. I was like, that's so fucking rad, dude.
Well, and you know what? I gotta say, I look pretty good as the Vision. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I don't look bad as the Vision. I gotta tell you. I don't remember. You're very forgettable. I think you were, what's Betty, the girl that runs around with, were you Scarlet Witch? Dude, if you were fucking, what's your
Scarlet
face?
Witch doing the
if you were Scarlett Johansson.
That would have been good. That would have been good.
Hashtag, where's Chris?
You know that's the next one that's coming, is we'll all be the broads from the Avengers.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
So I think, what do we got to talk about? The Predator? No, I'm just kidding. We're never going to talk about that movie again.
I saw that it's going on sale, and I was like, oh, just in fucking time for Christmas.
Dude, here's the funny thing, is that came on demand, and my wife was totally excited.
Oh,
she freaking loved it. Thought it was awesome.
Wow.
She thought it was awesome.
Loves it.
You should those divorce papers. You should be turning those in.
You know what? Whatever. At least she's watching alien shit. It ain't, The Notebook, whatnot.
That's
true.
It could be worse. I'll give her that.
How's this? I think I'd rather watch The Notebook at this point than Predators again.
Boy,
so.
Oh no, she got into Shadow Hunters.
First off, I do not know what that is.
There was a movie that came out, and it makes Twilight look like fucking Shakespeare.
Oh.
Well,
it is so bad that even the older girls were like, how are you watching this?
First off, Twilight is pure brilliance. I want to begin by saying that it's
are you glowering right now?
The best version of vampires that's ever existed by far. Like,
yeah. Whoa, man, we're going fucking south quick on this episode.
The fact that I can say that with a straight face by that alone.
I'm really stoked it's the holidays, because holiday movies have started. I've already watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation last night. I'm very stoked
started
about
watching
that.
the Kurt Russell Santa movie.
Dude, I'm really excited about this, dude. Kurt Russell's badass. Okay, fuck, man.
It is interesting. It's definitely a kid's movie.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying it thus far. Goldie Hawn is Mrs. Claus, as a hoot, as a spoiler alert.
Boy, where has she been all these years?
Well, he's been hiding her in the fucking workshop.
Underneath Kurt Russell.
But it's definitely interesting. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. I mean, it's not Santa Escapes from New York, which would be the greatest movie ever.
That would be awesome.
But it's good. I'm enjoing it. And I love Kurt Russell. You can't go wrong with him.
Yeah, no, I mean he
just basically has the same beard from Hateful Eight, and you're all, oh hey. So, but yeah, man, I'm in the same boat with you, dude.
Elf. We were watching Elf the other day.
Oh, dude, all the Christmas movies comes on.
Great.
All that shit, dude. I can't wait for Scrooge. Dude, even A Christmas Carol.
I'll tell you what's great is my wife hates Christmas music being played before Christmas. Like, she loves Christmas music.
Hell yeah.
But she cannot stand it when it happens basically on Thanksgiving. So we got done with dinner on Thanksgiving dinner, and I had a Christmas record queued up and ready to go.
Christmas in the stars.
No, I didn't. I should have. But I literally, it was like, I was like, she's like, wow, guys, thank you. That was a great dinner. And everyone's like, thank you, Lana. You did a wonderful job. And I'm all, baby, you did a great job. And I literally reached over and turned the record player on, and it was all dashing through the snow. And she looked at me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm all, Thanksgiving's done. Time for Christmas.
Most people who listen to us, and you guys definitely know, my day job, I work in the cable industry, and I work in the rear with the gear. So, I'm in a department with a crew of anywhere over the years between 9 and 15 people. And for many years, we have a Sounds of the Season channel that just plays music, right? Yeah. Now, all of October, we're listening to Halloween music, and some of it's like the Misfits, the Rob Zombie, the Goofy
really?
shit. It's really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
The day after Halloween it starts fucking Christmas music.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
And we play it. It's a fucking tradition.
Yes.
This has caused fights.
Really?
Somebody got their ass sent home one day because they turned the fucking channel and then somebody turned it back and said, don't touch this channel. And this guy flipped the fuck out,
That's
dude.
hilarious.
Like, they had to bring him into the office to me and tell me what was going on. And I was like, listen, either you're going to go home right now or this is going to escalate. Okay? Because what you just did right now, like, he was calling people motherfuckers and shit, you know? I mean, it got crazy, dude.
Over Christmas music,
Over
mind you.
fucking Christmas
That's
music,
the
man.
best.
And yeah, dude, ever since then, man, we have that shit on in the back. It's like, don't fucking touch it. Actually, each year, too, there was one time we had one employee who was like, they don't play enough Burr Lives. All right, so we started fucking keeping track. And it stays on the fucking board all year. Like last year, we caught 57 Burr Live songs while we were at work, right? We're marking it down, dude. Mark it down. Yeah, that wasn't Burr Live. Bullshit it wasn't. Mark it fucking down, dude.
Are you at Empire Records? What the fuck? Where are you working?
Is it Rex Manning Day? Like, what's
Yeah,
happening?
dude, we used to have these fucking epic fucking, like, you know, they don't play enough fucking, you know, Nat King Cole Christmas songs. Bullshit, they play him every fucking 10 minutes, man. It's Burr Lives that doesn't get enough fucking play. He's the fucking voice of Santa Claus, motherfuckers. Yeah, it's been great. We even, like, decorate the room with Christmas lights and all kinds of shit. We're into it, dude.
Who knew? Like,
Yeah,
all this
right?
time, who knew?
Yeah, I go next level with the students because I'll put on like the most obnoxious Christmas records ever. Like, and I love these albums, but it's like Bad Religion, you know,
Okay,
one of my
yeah.
all-time faves.
F Christmas.
But it's
And
like,
we have an episode where we did our favorite, like,
Right,
random Christmas
right.
albums, and that was definitely on the list, so.
right, and there, you know, there's like the Aloe Black Funky Christmas that just came out.
Oh, of course.
and you know, it's like all these records.
Back in the
Brad
day,
Paisley,
you know, mid 90s with Kevin and Bean on K-Rock when they used to have their...
I love those.
Dude, when they used to have their fucking their Christmas,
Christmas album they did.
oh my god, dude,
Tape.
Got so many of those.
No toys for OJ.
Yes,
Holy shit, dude, those were great tapes, man. I love that stuff.
Like, that takes you way back.
So-
Like, you know, but no, I miss the days of those Kevin and Bean albums, or like joke Christmas albums in general.
Yeah.
You know, like, nobody does that shit anymore.
But you know what? Like, from those things too came some like the Adam Sandler song, the Hanukkah song.
Yeah, yeah.
That was from Acoustic Christmas, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I
either
could have
that or
swore it was
SNL.
acoustic. I thought it started with Acoustic Christmas, but I could be wrong.
I know he did.
But I mean,
there.
it turned into like classics. I mean, some of the
Yes.
songs that they got on those fucking albums are like, you know,
Absolutely.
like No Doubt,
Absolutely.
and their Christmas song. You
Oh,
know,
back when they were still good, yeah.
Yeah.
dude, Gwen can look. She does no wrong.
Her Christmas record is good, dude. I know
disagree.
you were like,
Oh, dude,
shitting on
some
it.
friends of mine.
It's so good.
Some friends of mine work the whiskey in L.A.
Yeah.
They're security, and I guess Gwen Stefani and Gavin, whatever douchebag. I guess their oldest kid or something had a gig at the whiskey that night. They were taking pictures of them and shit.
Wow,
God,
nice.
dude, she's still so smoking hot, dude.
She's a beautiful woman,
Absolutely.
but, you know.
I think she's a fucking vampire and fucking and
Absolutely.
bathes in the blood of virgins, dude.
Well, I mean, I think
she does
she's-
not look a fucking day over she did in the 90s.
You've never
man.
seen her in the daylight, because if you did, she would sparkle.
Oh, jeez.
all roads lead to the sparkly vampires.
Which, I mean, there's fact in those Twilight movies. There's definitely fact. So let's talk a little bit.
I love that they keep going to high school.
Well, yeah, because, you know.
They keep collecting, like, how many fucking graduations do you have to go to before you go, yeah, I'm just going to dress older? Like,
Well, you know.
how many classes you going to... Don't even get me started. Never mind. I'm going to let
I've
it
never
go.
done-
I'm 44 years old looking at my fucking band shirt that I'm wearing right now going, oh, fuck, he's talking about... Damn, I'm that guy who doesn't know when to grow up.
Chris is just bitter, that's all. Because he never gets to leave high school, that's why.
This is true,
Oh,
dude.
man,
This is true.
fuck that.
So big news on our front since
Yes.
we've last podcast.
Oh, my God. A lot of big news. Hold on to the biggest news. 'Cause
That's the only one I was going to
No,
do, but
dude.
go ahead.
We have exploded as far as where we're going with the business.
Yeah, for sure.
We did New York. We talked about it on the podcast.
Yes.
We've also added Chicago. We're doing
Which we've mentioned, but yeah.
Seattle. Where else? Phoenix.
Yeah,
we
we're
signed
doing
up for Phoenix. We're looking at Portland.
Yeah, Rose City.
Yeah. And go ahead with what you were going to say.
Well, the biggest news of all is guess who's got a booth at San Diego Comic-Con next year?
It's fucking awesome,
Dude,
man.
we are officially in small press. We are a
Right.
small deal at
Yes,
San
we
Diego
are.
Comic-Con. So it's we already know our booth where it's at. Like, how weird is that?
Are you gonna be by the concession stand?
Yeah. Dude,
That way you can smell those fucking dirty hot dogs all fucking goddamn day long.
Well, we are on that wall.
Chris is
Yes, we
gonna fucking
are.
yeah. He's gonna need a bucket because he's gonna be like fucking.
What are you talking about? That'd be Ron. I'm the one that eats that food every time.
I
Oh,
cannot
really?
eat that
Oh, yeah.
kind of food,
man.
No, that's him.
Yeah, so we're back at San Diego, and Steve is going to be back at San
I
Diego
will be
this year.
attending this year
Nice.
with a pro pass.
You were going to be on a pro badge, yes,
so
sir.
I gotta fucking tell you, man, I'm gonna be walking around there like fucking Wayne's World, dude. So I'm like, hey, listen, I just want to let you know this is a professional badge, okay?
Take it easy, Lilu.
So
multi-pass.
I was like, listen, I get through this door before you Lesters, okay? You're just a fucking general
Do they do that?
You're a general one-day
They
person.
let you in early with the Pro Pass?
No. You get, you're
okay.
at the
They're
same-
going to let me in.
They are.
I'm
Well,
going
you
to
know.
finally get the team of guys with the red shirts that say security on them.
Steve's just
around
going
me.
to flex his way in. He's going to be like, you need to let me in, brother.
I got a lot of reps to do between now and fucking next July, man.
So, but yeah, man. So we're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, where I'm sure tens of people will be excited to see us. So it's
The thing I'm fucking really curious about for next year is how many days will Chris actually be there, even with a booth there? You think he'll be there every day?
maybe two. I think
Okay.
is a fair number.
I went once this year. One day. I went one day.
And he had a full badge, mind you. So everybody listening out there who's been dying to go to Comic-Con for fucking years know that this guy had a full badge. It just was kind of like one day, I was like, fuck it, throw it in a drawer.
Make your own fucking book.
Fucking
Become a pro.
Right? Gets a construction paper, fold that shit in half, and
Right?
give me
You
some
don't even
stick
use do a
figures,
digital
motherfucker.
one. Like
Right.
do a digital comic of some guy farting on a snare drum, and then post it, and you're like, look, I am a professional, and then there you go. So. Well, yeah, and then but we've been super busy.
Are
like-
you guys gonna be at WonderCon next year?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. WonderCon's one of the few cons we
I'll
locally
be attending at least one day WonderCon.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Two
go
cons
this
in a
year.
year for Steve.
I know. Well, and I'm gonna do Monster Palooza, of course.
There you
and
go.
Stuff. So you know.
Well, con season is ways away. And
I
we're
haven't
definitely
seen
in the
any black
off-season.
and white
I
Batmans for a long
forgot
time, so I
my
gotta go.
favorite con. New Orleans Con. We're
We
doing
haven't
that
been yet,
here in a
so
few
I don't know if
weeks.
it's your favorite.
It is right now.
You're doing it in a
because it's
few
in New
weeks?
Orleans.
Yeah, we're going to for New Year's.
New,
For New Year's, we'll be in New Orleans.
just in time for like possible hurricane.
No. Hurricane season just happened.
Didn't motherfucking Katrina happen the day after Christmas or something?
No. Okay, I'm looking at it.
So you could be stuck in some skanky fucking convention center with fucking water up to your fucking.
Sweet. Well, at least we'll get some insurance
You know what?
money on the
hey,
books.
you know what? Get lots of fucking covers for your books. Okay,
Yeah,
cardboard.
like
What are you,
bags and
savages?
boards?
Bags
Yeah,
and
bags
boards.
of boards, man. Fuck you, savages.
Well, our you know what? Life is Juke Joint's a pretty thick book. We could float on it like Jack and what's her face in Titanic.
Dude, it was in August.
Was it on August fucking 20?
Third.
Okay, it's like right before my birthday.
I was like, I don't think hurricane season's in this
No,
winter.
I could have
That's not
sworn
in the
it-
winter.
what
It's in the
happened
summer
during
and the
Christmas?
spring.
I know a bunch of people died at Christmas one year.
Oh, well, there you go. Merry Christmas.
Well, we have that to look forward to.
Well, no, we're so
You had me second guessing because you know I looked that shit up.
you did have me nervous for a hot second.
I gotta Google it and put a link up.
Did I tell you?
Love those fucking people, dude.
did I
Let me
ever
give
tell-
you a link.
Did I ever tell the story about Ronald Andrew? So we got a library card over the summer, and like the first fucking book he checked out over the summer was a book about weather. And so he reads this book, and he gets done, and he's like, "Dad, are there hurricanes in California?" And I'm like, "No, buddy, we don't have hurricanes here." He's like, "That's good because I'm very worried about hurricanes."
Oh,
So
Jesus Christ.
now my son is like scared of hurricanes everywhere he goes. Like when we go to vacation, he's like, "Are there hurricanes in New Mexico, Dad?" I'm like, "No, buddy, we're fine."
That's hilarious.
Yes, but I'm all there are tornadoes in Ohio, and now he's like, "Well, I don't know. We should not go to Ohio anymore, Dad."
Meanwhile, don't tell him about earthquakes.
Oh well, you know.
Because he'll never sleep.
So let's talk. We got a bunch of shit to talk about here. So where to begin? You know what? I think we got to open with Walking Dead. So we've been on The Walking Dead for a long time on this show.
The beginning.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I think we got to the end of last season, and I think the general consensus is like this shit is done. Like it is hit a wall. I was
feeling it too, dude.
Yeah.
Especially when we were watching. Even the beginning of this season had me worried.
Yeah.
Because I knew as soon as they announced that Andrew Lincoln and Lauren Cohan were leaving.
Yeah.
I was like, this is done. How do you go on without these two characters?
Well, they brought in a new showrunner, and they were really talking big about, like, oh, we're going to definitely improve and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, I've heard that before.
Right.
Because
you watch Fear. So.
I do, and I love Fear. And I think that's a show that you need to give a second chance to as well.
We have
a third chance then. but we just had the mid-season finale of season 9. God, season 9 of this show. Yeah. And I got to tell you, this has been my favorite half season in a long time.
Yeah.
Like a really long time.
And what a great closing episode for the mid-season break. Like, that's the shit. Like, that's horror right there. That's every zombie film you've ever wanted to see.
The scene in the fucking graveyard.
Yes!
Absolutely. I was watching that, and I was excited again. I was like, fuck. Because, over the especially the last few episodes, I've been making fun of the swamp zombie, the sand zombie. We got you want an ocean zombie? We got ocean zombies.
I like the ocean zombies.
And it's getting a little played the fuck out to me.
Yeah.
So here we had just fucking zombies trapping your ass in the fucking graveyard.
Right.
The fog rolled in.
Oh my god.
And I'm sitting there watching this going, how have they never done fog?
Right.
How have we've been on 9 years on the show and we've never done like thick ass fog.
Right.
Like that's kind of scary.
You know what though? I got to tell you, because we're still in.
I bet you they had that meeting too.
What state are we in?
We're now in Virginia. Because we're just outside DC.
It was a very fucking cold day. The day that the zombie apocalypse happened.
You mean the flannels? A lot of flannels?
Everybody's wearing long sleeve shirts. I haven't seen a long sleeve shirt on anybody in maybe it's because we're in California and I haven't had rain until fucking today. In 7 years or something, right? So I'm like, wow, dude. They had a sale on long sleeve shirts, right? But it was like a super great sale, too.
Well, if you want to really be entertained, Steve, go back and rewatch the show, and you're like, wow, styles have actually changed during the zombie apocalypse. Like, there's a lot of plaid right now in this current zombie apocalypse. You're like, not so much the 8 years ago zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Imagine if this show had happened in like the mid-90s, and by the time it was like 10 years later, you're like, oh, wow.
And, the big surprise, too, a lot of people right away were like, oh, we're fucking making these zombies evolve, huh?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking and they're getting smart and shit, right?
At first, I remember when this arc happened in the comic book, I was blown away because I was like, what a bold step.
So,
yeah. And
needless to say,
not so much.
A lot of the same people were like, oh, shit.
Right.
Okay, that's fucking cool, man.
And there's something like the Whisperers as a concept, there's something spooky about them.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact,
there's something right in the head.
Yeah. And it was like, especially when Daryl and Jesus and Aaron came over the hill and the zombies are circling. And they're like, have you ever seen zombies do this before? And they're like, no.
Right.
And then when they find Eugene and he's like, the zombies are hunting me. And they're like, they don't do that. And he goes, you don't understand. This is different,
Yeah, I mean, even he was, finally somebody was saying like, I think it was Jesus who said, well, I mean, we're talking about the dead standing up and walking again or something. It was like, so anything's fucking possible.
Right.
So that was kind of good to hear somebody finally say that after 9 seasons.
Well, and then
nobody's ever actually said it out loud.
Like challenge the idea.
Isn't this fucking weird?
But so much of what made the book more interesting as the time went on, they finally got in the show. It's like one of the things that has driven me nuts for the entirety of the show is like we're all still driving cars and firing guns.
I have to admit, seeing Daryl jump on that motorcycle going, and this is also 6 years, right?
Yeah.
down the line. Where the fuck are you finding gasoline?
Well, they said they're making ethanol. And the
is that what they are?
They mentioned they're like the only thing that can run on it is the motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
And even only for a short amount of time.
Right.
They're like, it doesn't burn hot enough to go for any distance, you know. Which at this point I'm like, well then why do we still have Daryl's motor? Just get rid of it. Like we don't need it, you know.
Yeah, but he's cool with it.
It's Daryl, dude.
But you know, everybody else is now
riding horses.
Yeah, cars or having the Deadpool.
Right, that was pretty good.
Like, I gotta admit. But it was also very cool to see Michonne did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and we've kind of touched on that a little bit before on some of the previous episodes.
It's when you start to look at the dead as a resource, which is what I think is kind of like the things about this world that we've sort of ignored for so long is like, it's a different world. It's going to have different rules, you know? And I think the only people, as much shit as we give the up people, they at least turned the dead as to part of their art installation, you know? It's like they at least did something with them as opposed to, you know, it's just like, we're just constantly trapping them.
You know, it's like in the Alien movies, it's like, what do? Well, because we're humans, we learn to weaponize.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what we do, man. Yeah. But, you know, the first thing I would do with my workers, I would take a fucking ball peen hammer and I'd just smash their fucking teeth right the fuck out.
Yeah, why not?
Bite me now, dickhead. There was a zombie comic book. It was kind of an anthology thing that they said, you know, the zombie apocalypses have actually taken place many times over
I think I've read this.
the history of mankind. But the problem was they just had shitty teeth back then. And since we started putting fluoride in the fucking water, the zombies today have better teeth, and that's why it fucking spread the way it did. It was a great fucking...
That was in
that's a good
World
idea.
War Z, the actual book. They talked about that.
Oh, did they? I can't remember now. It's been a few years since I read that book.
But that was, for sure. And that was because in the book as well, they talk about North Korea.
They survived because they pulled all their teeth.
Everybody in the entire nation got their teeth pulled out.
Oh, fuckers.
Like everybody in the entire nation. Mandatory. That's how they stopped the apocalypse. So you can't bite me if you don't have teeth.
Right?
So, but not that janky movie. Not like...
No.
The book.
The
book. Talking about the book. The good stuff.
So yeah, you know, I think these new episodes were pretty cool. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody...
We saw the end of a character. Of a loved character.
Jesus came to his end at this last
spoiler.
episode. Yeah,
and caught it like, whoa, fuck, man.
Well, and you know what? I think that they set the tone right out of the gate when they hung what's his face, Gregory. Like, Scott Gimple to me never knew how to quite run the story on that show.
Right.
And for me, remember when if you think back, you even listen back to our old episodes, when we got to the Saviors, I literally was like, oh, this should take a season. This is a season's worth of story.
You were saying that.
And they stretched it into 3 seasons. And you were like, this was really terribly handled, like top to fucking bottom. So bad that we were like,
really wanted it to be huge for Jeffrey Dean Morgan to be there.
But remember when they turned that, like the one episode,
the governor too.
Well, the one episode where they turned it into the A-Team, and he was like firing the 50 cal out of the back, and I'm like, what is happening to the show?
Right.
Like, where did reality go with the show? You know, and at least this last season, I'm like, dude, this is like being back on the farm.
Right.
It's a lot of character-driven stuff. It's a lot of time with people interacting, and there are zombies that are fucking like bother me again.
You know what, man? It's always funny when I hear fucking people talk about why they dropped the show, and when the main reason is always like what you just said. Any type of character development or dialogue, they're like, they're just yapping all the time. Well, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
But they don't get what the show's about.
No,
the show's not about
man.
the zombies.
No.
It's about the people.
And it's funny, man. You know, you could tell the people who read the comic and the people who did not read the comic, because in the very first goddamn comic that you pick up, you turn on the back of the fucking book, and he explains, this is what I'm going to do with this zombies comic.
Right.
You know,
it's not about the zombies.
It's exactly how he described it.
Yep.
You know,
which is crazy.
All these years, it's not just about. They get out of the mall, they get in the fucking helicopter, and they fly off, and that's the end of the movie. No, it's what this group survives, and what it takes to survive in this kind of a world.
Absolutely,
you know,
and what that does to you as a person.
Oh yeah,
again and again.
Right.
You know.
Well, and then I think what was interesting to me is they didn't prequel us on this one, where it's like shit happened in the last bunch of years.
Yes.
And it's like we make mention of stuff, and nobody know. Well, none of the viewers. I don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
You know, apparently they let a group of people in at some point that turned on them because they kept talking about like that's why Michonne's like we don't let new people in. Like remember we did it last time. It was a mistake. You know, you're like, well, what last time? What are we talking about here? You know, and then the X's on everybody's backs. You know, like some shit went wrong somewhere. You know, and it's like I'm like, don't explain it. Mm-hmm. You can do it in a flashback at some point.
And so much so that Michonne wants to keep her distance from the other colonies.
Right. It's like we just need to worry about ourselves now. You know? Right. So, and it's nice because now you're like looking at it, you're like, hey, all of these people have like moved on. Like we're all doing different shit now, you know? And it's like,
well, look at the reaction of like when Daryl and Carol come through the gate to Hilltop.
Yeah.
And it's hugs and kisses.
But not from Michonne.
Didn't even get a wave from Carol. Walked back in the motherfucking house. Didn't even address her until a little bit down the road.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Good stuff, man.
Very interesting.
How do we feel about Henry becoming the new Carl?
I'm fine with that.
The walking fucking Henry, dude.
Right?
This kid, where are you at? I'm going to go. I got to help. No, you don't. Fuck, kid. Stay fucking put.
Well, and then he's like all excited to be around what's-her-face?
Carl's
girlfriend. And I was like, she's got to be like 10 years older than you. I mean, good for you, but, you know.
Hey, Anakin and Padme.
right?
You know what I mean?
So, do you guys watch The Talking Dead?
No, not really. Sometimes, but no.
I learned something on Talking Dead that blew my mind.
Which is?
So, Henry, the old Henry, is the older brother of young Henry.
I got you. Okay.
I'm going to take you next
level.
Henry
The
new Henry is the older brother of the one.
Which is why they look so much alike.
Right.
That's kind of brilliant.
Here's the best part. This is really going to blow your fucking mind. Sophia is their younger sister. Or actually, older sister.
What?
Yes.
No shit.
Really?
So the whole family has been on the show.
They'll all be a Walker Stalker con now.
Right.
And she's like 21 now.
Yeah.
And she's out there signing.
Yes, she is.
Gotta be.
Yep, all of them, dude.
Monetize that shit, yep.
Fuck. Hell, dude, Jesus was at fucking last year's Monster Palooza.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wasn't even dead yet, you know?
So yeah, man. So for those
And what about that choice? That was a gutsy choice.
Well,
dude.
I was reading about it afterwards, and he basically was like wanted off the show.
What? I didn't hear that.
He didn't say it on The Talking Dead.
Yeah.
I caught him on a news thing, I think Channel 11 or maybe it was 7 the next morning. And pretty much said...
Well, it's not like he's a big name at this point.
Well, no, he basically was like, he felt that the character had been underutilized since the first season. And he goes, look, I'm in the comics. I signed on because he's one of the most badass characters in the comics.
Yeah.
He's like, during All Out War in the comics, he literally catches a grenade and throws it back at people.
Right.
He goes, and I didn't get to do any of that, you know?
Right.
He's like, the only fight I had during All Out War was with like Daryl,
Yeah.
you know, and he goes, that's like, it's not what I signed up for.
Right.
And it's a shame because he finally sort of got Jesus
in that last moment.
Yeah.
There was, I did want to fucking, I was yelling at the TV. Why did you design your armor like that?
With no protection in the rear?
Or just like the way it kind of like just protects your sternum?
Well, like, let's be honest. That's like they pulled that from the comic book.
It was just terrible armor. And I'm like, it was really funny because, you know, how long have I been talking about spears?
Mm-hmm.
And the two horsemen ride up and Michonne's like, you have spears?
Like mind blown.
Did you see who one of the horsemen was?
Yeah, it was
C. Thomas Howell. You got to go back and watch it now.
C. Thomas Howell rode up as one of, I don't know.
I did not catch that.
I go, what'd you do?
He was in 2 episodes
in that one movie?
Right.
I didn't even catch that.
It was C. Thomas Howell, yeah.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, cool, good times.
Right,
so what do you think about the new additions, though?
Hey, man, they're very excited that they are bringing people with hearing disabilities into it. Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what?
That's great. I'm like,
I think that's the most ridiculous shit ever.
I think to myself,
that's the only thing that gives you a clue that the zombies are coming.
Yeah.
How do these two survive?
I thought it was pretty fucking stupid.
Well,
I was like, okay, but I didn't want to say it out loud.
Deaf person, so
there's only one deaf person left.
I mean, I think it's great. It's inclusive, fine, but that should have happened in like the first 2 seasons, because at this point, it's like anybody sneaking up on them. Like,
I don't really care. I
just think it's kind of an odd choice for this
Fear
point.
the Walking Dead has the dude in the wheelchair, so it's like
it's just another like, I'm fucking sorry. That's fucking not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, she could be like the unicorn. Like, she's the unicorn deaf person. Like, she's the only one left.
Maybe.
Listen, man, that's a fucking reach.
How's this?
Dude.
To me, she is. I guarantee she dies in the next half of next season because she's deaf.
They love her. Yeah, I could tell already.
Think about the tension you create.
They were
in the scene
super stoked.
with zombies coming up on the deaf lady.
I gotta fucking tell you, man. I remember a personal fucking thing. We hired a person at work that was deaf. Damn near killed me with a forklift because he could not hear me tell him to stop. He had grabbed a pallet and went through to the other pallet and was bringing it up and sort of sending the other pallet off the truck and could not fucking hear us telling him to fucking stop.
Oh wow!
You should have got like a little
work was so fucking proud that they had hired somebody with a hearing.
Did you tell them he's not allowed to operate the forklift again?
They could hear me. They could hear me from across like a mile away. That he's never to fucking get on my goddamn forklift again, dude. Holy crap! But I'm sorry that your food in that world. Your food.
Unicorn. All I'm saying, unicorn.
Yeah. So is your wheelchair person. Sorry, wheelchair people who might be listening to us, man. You better get a safe room for zombie apocalypse.
They kind of leaned into that.
Yeah.
That he was basically defenseless, and other people had saved him up until that point.
Because you're pushing him and going, the fuck it, you're gonna. He goes sailing.
You're gonna do like fucking Shane with the fat guy in season 2.
Yes.
Food, man. Pam.
He's like, I'm really sorry to do this to you, man, but
it's like the convict chick who Michonne just knew her tattoos. I love that. She just reads that shit, right?
Well, she was a lawyer. A defense lawyer, in fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean, they did that as her backstory.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little hokey, but it didn't bother me.
But I liked her response. I did what I had to survive.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right?
There's the fucking answer for you.
The violin.
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
But you know what? I loved his explanation about it because that is true. Mm-hmm. You know, so
that we all have come together through music and art, essentially.
You know,
How did man overcome the Neanderthals?
Yeah, I like that response. It was pretty good,
great, man.
If you want to bring fucking society and humanity back from the brink of fucking, that's where you start.
Well, and to me, it's like this season tonally. I mean, once again, I've been saying it for a season and a half. I go, something's off about this show.
To me, that character, I can't remember his name right now. He's also in the new Fantastic Beasts in the last one too.
Yeah.
I believe he is going to be our new moral compass for the show.
And the show needs one.
It does. It's been lacking.
The show's
especially
been lacking
now,
one for a while.
You just killed Jesus, who was kinda...
Well, he got saddled
trying
with that
to play
during
that.
the war,
yeah. And now he's gone. You need somebody to fill that spot.
Well, and it's one of those things where it's a reoccurring theme where you need that one character who's trying to hold on to humanity. You know, but what's interesting to me is like everybody's trying to hold on to humanity now. You know, like you're redeveloping the world, and to me, I go, this is what's interesting. Like, let's see how we can all get along now.
you know, I did like fucking Negan talking to.
The kid?
Yeah.
Judith. Yeah.
Judith. She's doing the math problem. He's like, who gives a shit about this airplane? Do you ever think you're going to see an airplane? No? Okay.
Well, then, good.
Let's talk about real stuff.
Right.
This world.
But I love her response. I'll talk. You can talk to me about math. Yeah. You know, I'll talk to somebody else who has an opinion that matters. Because your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, what did you guys think
they
about?
Like Negan.
What did you
guys? Your decisions have led you here.
Well, but what did you think about the moment with him and Maggie? When he was sort of broken down.
Sure.
It was a front. You know, you're like.
Do you think it was a front?
No. I think so.
I don't think so at all.
I don't think so.
I think he was broken.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that his tough guy act in jail was the front. You know, and that like everything that came after that.
Well, no, I think he's still always that.
Right.
Yeah, but
Negan is. I mean, he talks today like he did 6 years ago.
Right. because he's not.
But
on like
everybody,
else.
dude,
Yeah.
everybody has. I don't care how fucking tough you are. You Navy motherfucking SEAL. You could kill more people than smallpox. Mm-hmm. You have everybody has their fucking point. And yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's just what it was.
Well,
man.
and especially because it's like you've been locked in the dark forever. Yeah. Like they just got you down in a hole, and you're gonna live in that hole by yourself until you die.
But when he referred to his wife, and just he was somebody before this happened. Everybody was. These people weren't fucking killing machines before this fucking happened. They were product. They got turned into this. He was a high school goddamn
gym teacher.
He wasn't a fucking homicidal maniac.
So I'm curious what they're gonna do with him, because like on the preview for next season, they showed him going back to Sanctuary. But there ain't going to be nobody there.
No, it fell.
I mean, it's gone.
It failed.
So, and he's like...
Because they had no way to get food.
Yeah, glad I'm home. And I'm like, yeah, but you're to what?
Interesting choice, because when that happened in the book, he stayed in the cell.
Right.
To prove that he had rehabilitated himself. That he was better. And there's no point in that storyline at this point, because he did it to Rick.
Right.
He proved it to Rick.
Right.
Who gives a shit at this point?
Maybe. I mean, I can't foresee them dropping him back in as the villain.
No, he's got to become like I think he has to do what he did in the book.
Yeah.
He's got to find a new way to get there.
I mean, look, how's this? If the show keeps going the direction it's going, like I'm back in. Like this was a great half season, but we've had good half seasons before, like fall apart in the second half.
True.
Because the first half season of season 7 was actually pretty good. And then it fell apart in the back half. Yeah. And it's like, to me, it's like, can you carry it all the way to the end, And I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, because this last episode was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, it was probably one of my favorite ones in a long time,
a long time.
All right, so let's move off Walking Dead. Steve, you got to go see Fantastic Beasts.
I did, just this last weekend.
I'm still behind on that one.
The wife and my oldest are huge fans of it. I gotta admit, I'm a fan of the Harry Potter world.
Love the Harry Potter world.
I think it's fucking great. I think it's really
clever,
cool how they've said, you know what, man, we've got enough content here to expand this world.
Yeah.
We could even kind of do this whole kind of prequel thing, and I think they've been doing it really good.
World built the shit out of it.
Oh,
like
totally,
you've got
dude.
so much going on with all the ministries and all the different houses and different, like the French girls came in and.
Yeah.
So, without a spoil, you don't have to spoil anything. What did you think? Did you like this new one?
I loved it. Actually, I think I probably like this one probably a bit better than the last one.
Okay.
Even. I like the last one, but it just at the end was a little over the top with its main little baddie thing kind of destroying New York City, and then they just kind of rebuilt it with this. Spread of their wants. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a little too over the top for me.
All right.
But this one I thought it was actually better, man.
A lot
I really
of
liked
people have
it.
been shitting on this film. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's been like the reviews weren't great, and a lot of people have been like, well, it feels like a middle film. And I'm like, well, it is. It's like, it's number 2 in a 5-part series. You know?
Right.
You know what I think it is? People, once again, those original Harry Potter books were so popular that nobody cared, because the third one, like when you get Lupus and all them and, Azkaban, it's a great movie, but it's a very, very much a middle movie.
I gotta fucking tell you, man, right at the bat of this one, dude, it is dark.
Really?
Fucking dark, man. What is Johnny Depp's character?
Grindelwald.
There you go. They always got these everybody from fucking England's got fucked up names.
Right.
I think they do right now too. Everybody there. He's fucking a
dark
killing machine, man.
Nice.
No shit, dude.
Nice.
It was really good. But I thought he was really great too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's on my list. I haven't even seen the new Creed yet. I haven't seen
that's
anything,
one I'm hearing not as great reviews about that one as the first one.
Dude, the last one was so good.
I mean, fuck,
how do you overcome
Remember we talked about it on the show? We're like, they're talking Oscar for fucking Stallone on this, dude.
Yeah, and it was that good.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. This one feels very much like. First off, you took Ryan Coogler out of it because he was off directing Black Panther.
Yeah.
So he's not going to direct the second Creed over Black Panther. But, without his input, it's, Stallone went to Ivan Drago. And you're like, okay, so,
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Does it, though?
Fights the kid that's the son of the other guy that killed his dad.
Couldn't he just go box other people?
I guess.
Like, other people box too. I'm just saying, there's...
I was thinking to myself, I was like, you're supposed to be the kid of him, like... Well, when were you born? how far after the fact? Because
you started doing math.
I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm 44 fucking years old. So how old's your son?
Right.
Like, you ain't boxing a fucking, like, if he was the same age as me, I saw that movie when I was a little boy.
Well, I think because he would have had to have already been conceived at that point, in order to,
So it's like, you ain't boxing at fucking, even in your late 30s. How old is this fucking, I'm not digging this timeline,
I love
dude.
that you're digging into the Rocky Creed timeline, being like, excuse me, sir,
I've got questions.
I have questions
here, man.
about this timeline.
Was there any in vitro fertilization going on?
Can we discuss the Creed midichlorians, please? I'd like to.
Yeah, I need to check that out. Like always, I'm always behind on my movies now, dude. I don't get to go out as much.
Well, I mean, it's the function of having children.
Dude.
It becomes really difficult just to get out and see stuff. But man, I mean, look, for me, the Fantastic Beasts in the Harry Potter world, like, it is not like lighting it up here in the United States, but it's a big hit overseas yet again. These and more proving yet again more and more that the American market is going to be less important on like what we see over the long term,
dude. Speaking of like bigger markets, I'm like befuddled by Venom, and then I think you nailed it on the head. It's like Venom is breaking all these records because of China, because of because of all these overseas sales. Because apparently they freaking love it in China.
There was a whole marketing thing where they took the Venom. And then they did all this clever marketing in the Chinese market with him, where they made like a little cute Venom thing, and
of course they did.
And so the Chinese they got into it, and the movie's gangbusters.
You know what,
over
man?
there.
I gotta tell you, other than like maybe one person here or there gave it a bad review, the only people that I saw give it bad reviews were like people who do reviews,
critics.
Critics. All
Even
my
I
friends,
wasn't like in love
all
with
my
it, but
friends
it
who were
was fun.
fucking posted about it, fucking came out and said, "Dude, I loved it. It was fucking great. It was awesome." Whatever. I was like, oh, okay.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was fun.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I didn't feel like it cut any new ground here, but whatever. It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, Fantastic Four bad.
Well,
I was hoping for some rated R Venom, but it didn't get that.
Sell tickets.
So
I mean, it was violent enough.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that transition in the marketplace. I mean, they're gonna stop. You're going to have movies that are made like for us and then movies that are not. So like the Fantastic Beasts, like it's not lighting up the world, but they're going to continue to make them because it's going to do $800 million worldwide.
It's got a fucking fan base.
Yeah.
And that fan base is going to go to it.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the Deadpool PG-13 that they're doing?
I'm kind of intrigued. It's got Fred Savage. Like, that seems fun.
I think I saw a poster for this when I was going to see Fantastic
Here's
Beasts.
what they're doing.
I was like, what's this all about?
They took Deadpool 2
and
they've recut it into a PG-13 movie.
With Princess Bride as the device.
So they've shot a bunch of stuff with Fred Savage, and Deadpool has kidnapped Fred Savage in bed.
And he's reading Deadpool
2 to him as the Princess Bride.
Fuck, dude.
Just for that alone, I'm kind of intrigued.
I did see a fucking movie preview when I was seeing Fantastic Beasts. It's a goddamn Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
And
with Ryan Reynolds,
voices Pikachu, and I was like, oh, fuck, dude. This is going to make me start smoking pot. I was like, I don't know if I can get through this one, man.
Does he not do a voice? He just does his voice?
Dude, Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds in everything he does.
Right. So it's like Deadpool as Pikachu is what you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the concept is because Pikachu, whenever anybody talks to Pikachu goes, Pika, Pika, Pikachu.
Yeah, right,
like he only says his name,
Yeah.
So like
I don't know anything about this shit. So this is all new to
So
me.
Detective Pikachu, the original concept is that this one character, Pikachu talks to him, and he hears Pikachu talking as a regular.
Okay.
He can actually understand Pikachu, and nobody else around can. So what they've done is they're doing Pokemon and this live action version, and it's Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu.
And I mean, everybody loves like a fucking movie where the dogs and shit talk, right? So now we're gonna go and have talking fucking Pokemons. So
the other Pokemons, I think they do talk. Actually.
He can understand Pokemons.
Yes.
Where everybody else is here is fucking Squirtle.
Right.
So,
wow.
Yes, he's got the gift.
It looks funny.
It's the gift.
Like, I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Like, look, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, it's fucking Pokemon. But
you know what? I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds, though. Everything he does, I fucking love it.
I gotta tell you, man.
I can't name a single movie. Even the
only fucking time. Have you ever watched this Pokemon cartoon?
Yes,
no. Okay.
I have. Yes,
so remember the fucking Team Rocket?
Yes.
I had a fucking couple show up to our fucking Halloween party, and the chick who was dressed like the fucking Team Rocket chick was screaming fucking hot. This is the only time I ever gave a fuck about Pokemon. That chick's fucking hot, dude. Other than that, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't care. It's fucking stupid. Huh. So, and when everybody's playing that fucking game, I just want to smack the goddamn phones out of their fucking hand.
It got people out of the house.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever been downtown, like on a weekend?
I don't want to.
They're still doing it.
I don't like to be near those people anyway.
They're still out there, like, catching Pokemon.
Fucking
2 years later, man.
I cannot fathom that.
They're just, it's hot. And it's funny because, like, we went down there to have lunch after one of the kids' soccer games. And I'm like, what are all these people doing down here? And I'm like, are they all out here playing Pokemon Go? Like, that's still happening? Like, come on, but...
I can't believe the Clash of Clans is still going on.
Well, first off, Clash Royale is a fantastic game, and you're missing out. So.
Are you still playing that?
I wasn't digging that one, dude.
Oh, Jesus.
Absolutely.
Well, and we've gotten to the point now where, like, even my students are looking at Fortnite and going, yeah, fuck that game.
Well, that's because, they're all...
It's a cool thing.
It's whatever.
But Fortnite became the biggest game in history.
Yeah. I mean, people are still going to play it, dude.
I just, same thing. That game will go on, but I cannot imagine that people are still playing this Pokemon shit.
They are, man.
I don't.
I know a couple of people who are still playing goddamn World of Warcraft, and they have been playing since the fucking jump.
Really?
Dude. Yeah, they just a couple of them just came out for fucking BlizzCon.
Wow,
recently.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people still on that, but
yeah, sure, Yeah.
So I mean,
I had my fucking time in it.
Absolutely,
that's for sure.
Absolutely,
never played it.
Goddamn time waster.
I'll admit, I just picked out Fallout 76 because I love those Fallout games. So, and it's like
I heard they shut it down because 3 people dropped the bomb at the same time, and it shut down the game.
You can launch nukes in the game. Like if you do all this one quest, you can launch a nuke to anywhere on the map, just for fun to irradiate a section of the map for like a day. And 3 people got together and decided they were all going to launch their nukes at the same time.
I fucking love it when that shit happens.
Oh, yeah. They shut the server down because it was so, like, all the servers went down because there was too much information. So they're basically, all the servers went out after this happened.
They did some sort of fucking World of Warcraft thing where they fucking gave everybody the plague and were killing people's fucking characters and shit, dude.
That was so great.
That's fucking beautiful, dude. I love that fucking crap, man.
It makes me smile.
I'm like, you're so fucking smart, dorky nerd motherfuckers. And they're like that guy from fucking the South Park episode,
right?
It's got the fucking Sword of Destiny or whatever, with the glasses, fucking 47% fucking body fat and shit.
Jesus.
Just smell like Mountain Dew and fucking Cheetos. Yelling for their mom makes fucking Hot Pockets. Ma!
Well, speaking of gross, you guys, Overlord. We all saw Overlord.
Yes.
I think that's the only thing we've all seen.
Weirdly.
Yeah, I love it. I thought it was great.
Now, I was supposed to go with Steve, but he didn't want to go to a movie past 4 because he had to get his Denny's lunch.
He was like, let's go to the midnight showing. We could all fucking dress and drag. And I was like, wait a minute, what movie are we going to see again?
Steve choosing out a movie, and I go, how about we go? I go, do go to the 9:30 show. I can go to the 9:30 show, and literally the response on the Facebook group
was crickets at
they
first.
Were like, 9:30, how dare you? I gotta get my jazzy scooter and drive around.
I think I also picked a Friday night, didn't I? It wasn't even a Saturday, so everybody fucking worked.
If you'd have done a Saturday, I'd have been in 100%, but I didn't work, man. Got a dollar bill, yo. So
he works some weird fucking hours.
I do work some weird fucking hours.
They go, what is Ron doing? I'm like, man, I don't know. He's got like 13 fucking jobs.
I was at the Pacoima Playhouse that night doing a one-man rendition of Death of a Salesman. So it's
But yes, back to Overlord.
Yes,
I
Overlord.
thought it was fucking great, man. I mean, it had a great fucking opening. I mean, the tension, dude. When they're fucking jumping out that fucking goddamn plane.
That was so good.
I mean, we've all seen Saving Private Ryan, and we know what the fucking beach landing was like. Right?
Yeah, right.
Man, can you fucking imagine being on a fucking plane?
No.
Flying into that fucking shit and out the fucking window, everybody around you is fucking going down.
Not even
and you're just fucking jumping the fuck out of this thing, dude. spinning upside down and fucking landing in water and in fucking trees and fuck, dude.
Nope.
Out the gate, dude. It was intense.
I knew this movie was going to be like, zombie Wolfenstein type thing.
I was hoping for some more goddamn zombies, but that's
here's the thing. I was so pleasantly surprised at how much World War II we got out of this fucking movie. Because I did not see that coming at all.
Really?
I figured it was going to be we're running around the castle killing the monsters the whole time. I fucking loved that aspect of this movie because I'm a big junkie for World War II stuff. Anyway.
Same here.
I mean, the movie, were you pleasantly surprised by it?
Hell yes.
Like, because it looked good. Like, the trailer looked good.
I figured it was going to be, on the par with Venom or, something where it was enjoyable. Even the Alien movie that just came out, it was, whatever. It was entertaining. This was way beyond that. I mean, it got a little hokey with the big super monster dude with his face all blown up. Okay, whatever.
Why was that hokey?
It just got a little goofy for me at that point.
I'm not feeling you on that. Not even a little. Sorry.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. It was whatever.
Way to go in depth.
Up to that, I just felt like, it was that moment in Resident Evil where we start to see the lickers, and I'm like, God damn it. We had to go like super boss on this, didn't we? We couldn't just have the fucking...
those were mini bosses. And they turned it into an end boss. Which
exactly.
I was yelling at the screen. Wait, no, that's not right.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? I played Resident Evil.
Actually, my favorite scene, I thought it was scary as fuck. When our main character, I believe his name was Javon Adapo?
The actor?
Yes.
He was good, by the way.
Gets his way. He was the first one to make it into the fucking castle.
Mm-hmm.
And the shit he starts to find.
Yes.
Fuck, dude.
The head with the spine.
It had this whole reanimator fucking thing to it. And I loved it, man. I was like, this is fucking scary as fuck. That goddamn head is fucking talking, man. And it's talking in French, which is scary too.
This is not okay.
Fuck,
yeah, I had to get up and leave the theater. There's no pause button in the theater.
Go walk around and shit.
I went out and I got some popcorn and I came
asshole,
back.
sit
you
down.
did not.
I can't sit through that shit.
Fucking left during that scene.
I'm telling you, dude.
That scene was amazing.
Right. It just look, man, there's a certain point when it gets really tense and I can't fucking sit through it.
Oh my god! I don't want to hear any more about me.
A little confessional time here. I do not like to drive in the fucking rain. It gives me high anxiety. And I was driving over here this evening. It's the first time it's rained like all goddamn year. It's pouring down fucking rain. I'm white knuckling my steering wheel. And the only thing that fucking just calmed me down was like, this is what it's like when Ron is watching a PG-13 horror movie. I wish I could just get out of my car and walk around right now. I'm fucking super stressed out right now.
Popcorn.
You just you don't understand. I feel great empathy, and it's okay, when you reach that point when you're watching a movie and all the hairs stand up on your arms? Mm-hmm. Well, I have a lot of fucking hair, so when that happens...
Who's that Sasquatch motherfucker over there? He's all fluffed up, yo.
Wow.
Like a ball of fur.
So that scene stressed you out a little bit, huh?
Oh, real quick, side note, speaking of Sasquatch. So we showed the boy Harry and the Hendersons for the first time. When they're trying to stop Harry at the end, my son stands up at the couch and is all, shoot him, shoot him, super excited. I'm like, dude, it's don't kill Harry. He's like, shoot him.
And there you have it.
Oh man!
Just so you know, just so you know.
I don't feel so bad about my kids right now.
Speaking of kids,
I'm starting to think to myself maybe I'm showing them a bit too much.
Phoebes has gotten behind on The Walking Dead. We used to watch it together.
Okay.
She's 12. She's a little young for it, but, she's not your average bear. So she got behind about 3 episodes, and she hadn't seen Rick's last episode. And she finally got caught up, and I'm watching her because I watched it again with her. And, he's on the bridge, and I can see her getting super tense, and then it blows up and he disappears, and she flips the fuck out, dude. She is ugly crying. like, oh my God, I can't believe. And I'm like, he survives, right? It doesn't matter. I was watching Michonne, and she like lost her shit. It was so great. I
watched my fucking mom freak the fuck out when they killed Herschel, dude.
Really?
I'm serious. I was like, Ma. And then I had to tell her to take her shit off Facebook.
Yeah.
Ma, there are people who haven't seen this yet.
Yeah.
It's called a spoiler. You're fucking it up, dude.
No, like
she was super upset. And I was like,
weeping.
Is this really happening? I was like, holy crap.
That was like the saddest part of that episode, though, when Herschel showed up because he's been dead for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they definitely worked the emotional strings on that episode.
Yeah.
Like, they really did a good job.
Okay, we gotta, I know we're in the middle of Overlord, but guys, we totally missed Stan Lee dying. Like,
oh Jesus!
Well, I figured we maybe bring that up at the end of this episode.
But it's like, I mean, not to pull away from Overlord, it's a great film. Go see it. Like,
totally.
Actually, I really hope we get a sequel somehow out of it. I don't know how, but it would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can get a second fucking Iron Skies, I can get.
They were on their way to the next mission, man.
There you go. I like
it.
it.
Had to take out Hitler.
But yeah, right. No shit. But.
Zombie Hitler! Oh my God!
Like, I'm a zombie, guys.
Or they gotta take on the werewolf women of the SS.
Oh,
fucking shit, dude! I would be there, just like fucking, dude. Fuck yeah!
That movie was like a Rob Zombie song come to life for Steve.
No, actually, it was his fucking little movie he made for the Grindhouse trailer that he turned into a song after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. He did that Grindhouse trailer for that, and then he made a song from it.
I didn't realize he meant that. I didn't realize it came in that order. I always thought it was the other way.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Interesting.
Man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so real quick,
Stan Lee.
So Stan Lee died, you guys, and I mean it's been a couple weeks at this point. But man, I don't know about you guys, but I text you guys immediately as soon as I found out.
Yeah,
like I was legitimately heartbroken.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what? I was sad, but I wasn't heartbroken because the guy was like 95.
He was,
and I think he lived some Hefner years, you know.
Sure.
And I think for me, the thing that was not as heartbreaking about it is that he got to fully be the rock star. Like, they fully appreciated him for what he created in his lifetime. Right. And for me, that like made it a little bittersweet.
That dude, like, when we look back on like the lives of people.
Have you guys ever got to meet him?
Yeah,
before
I met Stan Lee twice. So I met him in 1996 at San Diego Comic-Con on the floor. I was there with my friend Robert, and he was just walking behind the Marvel booth, and we walked up and talked to him for 20 minutes. So that's the day I found out Stan Lee was a lefty. But it's and then the second time I met him 2 years ago at Comic-Con. Yeah. Again, ran into him. He was getting ready to do an interview at the IMDb boat, and literally nobody was standing around him. Nobody recognized who he was.
What?
I walked right up to him and I was like, but
wait. We've been doing 10 years of Marvel movies with him doing cameos.
Nobody, not a clue.
How is this possible?
All these
Comic-Con?
people, his handler wasn't anywhere nearby. He went, his handler and he was literally standing in the parking lot. No security nearby.
I didn't know that.
Yep. I walked right up to him and I was like, I'm just gonna do this in the down low because I don't want people to come up and bother you. I'm like, and I just started talking to him and I told him, I was like, you're the reason that I read Fantastic Four. Right. I go, I talked to you in '96. Absolutely. I met you. We talked about comic books, and I told you that I had just started reading X-Men and basically had gotten dragged down to the Comic-Con with a friend to play a card game. And it's like, do you have any books that you would suggest? And he was like, well, true believer, you should read Fantastic Four. He's like, have you read Spider-Man? I go, yeah, I like Spider-Man. I go, but like anything else? And he goes, well, if you're, Fantastic Four? And I'm like, I've never read Fantastic Four. Like, why would I read that? It's like an old book and it's not very popular. And he goes, oh, well, let me tell you, son. And then he told me all about like why the Fantastic Four is important,
Yeah.
And it's why I collect Fantastic Four. And I've talked about it, and Steve like gives me shit all the time because the movies are terrible. But I mean, like the reality is for me, like Stan Lee, like he is a guy that I looked at, and like he was like old then, like he was 73 then,
Yeah.
I mean, but here's a guy that like pointed me in a direction and like changed my outlook, on the comic book world, and I like when I say I was heartbroken, I was a little heartbroken because we're gonna get a couple more. I think they said they filmed like 4 or 5 more cameos for him for the next phase, but at a certain point they'll be gone, and we'll never We'll never get that again. You know.
Well, and bottom line is, I've been pretty open about. I've never been a superhero comic reader. It's never been my thing. But I fully acknowledge that I would not do what I do were it not for what Stan Lee has done in superhero comics, because Marvel is the one that kind of broke the mold of what you can do with these books and the kind of topics you can cover and the kind of subject matter you can go into. Like, that's all coming out of Marvel and Stan Lee.
All right.
There would be no Grace. There would be no Legba's Juke Joint without what those guys did.
Yeah.
And I fully understand that.
Yeah.
Batman, DC's great, but they didn't do, at least initially, what Stan and those guys did with tackling those subjects. Whether it was race issues or drugs or whatever it was,
the whole thing with like the X-Men,
exactly,
and the stuff that they're touching on with they're using mutants, but they're really talking about like the Holocaust, and things like that. For me personally, we talked about when Leonard Nimoy passed, and how much he meant to me. Stan Lee is up there in the top 5 people. Right. For me, growing up was hard. I was the outsider from a very young age, and comic books and movies, especially Marvel comic books, let me escape this world into something else, and saved me from myself. Influenced me in the things that I, hell, it taught me how to read.
Amen.
I didn't want to read the crap that they were giving me at school, but man, you give me a fucking stack of you name it, Spider-Man, X-Men, any of those. Yep. And I'm all over it. And if I found a word that I didn't know, now I'm looking them up on the dictionary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and Stan Lee and those guys, they created those characters, brought those characters to life with their stories, and fuck, dude, I mean, it was everything.
Well, what's kind of crazy is you look back at it now, and there's people more knowledgeable on this subject than we are, but it's like his run was short. He only really created for 11 years specifically, and it was like in that 11 years, like that dude created. Like some of them, he's unbelievably prolific. Like it's like one of those things where it's like we like Chris and I talk about Prince all the time and how much like Prince during the 80s is like that prolific, and Stan Lee is that prolific. Where like most of us would hope to be a tenth as prolific as he was and as creative as he was in that 11-year period.
Right.
And then he didn't just ride on
like
those.
The Beatles.
Yeah, I mean it's
same
just
thing.
It just blows you away like how world changing this guy was. And you know what? It's like. There are people like even now that for I don't know why, but people that still shit on like the comic books and like, oh, it's just kid shit and all. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's like it's not for you. It never was for you. It was for me. It was for Steve. It was for Chris.
Right.
Like and for me, it's like finding comic books at a later age because I grew up in a very sort of Christian household. And we didn't read comic books and things like that. That wasn't something I was given until I had a friend of mine who loved the X-Men, and I would go to Hector's fucking house, and I would read his X-Men comic books, and then we would go down to the plaza back when it was still the indoor plaza, to the comic book castle down there, and I would pick up X-Men, and I'd pick up my copy of Wizard, and then that turned into something more, and it was like I remember for years I had my regular comic book pool, where it was like I'd pick up Fantastic Fours. I'd pick up my X-Men, both Uncanny and regular. Yeah. And it's like, this is what I want pulled every month. And at one point I was pulling like 18 books a month, back when they were still like $3, it's like $2, or $1.99 a book, but still, it was still a lot of comic books. And I was like, Steve, like that became my outlet. I still love to read, but like, man, I love to read comic books,
at a young age, being one of, the outsider, not having, a lot of friends or anything like that. Fuck, dude. Some kid sees you, he's one of the on the outs too. He's like, hey, I read that too. And I'm still friends with those guys here 35 years later.
Well, I mean, truthfully, like that's one of the things that brought Steve and I together, like was movies and comic books.
I remember our first party when we met.
First conversation. Yeah.
And we talked all goddamn night about
and
this
it was
shit,
like
dude.
literally like we were like, it was like, who's your new boyfriend?
Totally.
And Steve and I could not be more of an odd couple, but
Right.
it's like when you find somebody that loves something that you love, and it's one of those things where it's that common ground. And it's funny now because it's like with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, I love Captain America, I love Iron Man.
Right.
Everybody loves these characters, but like, 20 years ago.
Yeah, like I always say too, when people start talking, about it being a closed world, and I'm going, I'm sorry, you're making shit up, yo. And especially if you're the same age as me, I'm like, you weren't there with me.
No.
Let me tell you, dude. And not only I was getting it double now because I was the outsider to begin with, and I'm even worse now because one of these guys reading a fucking comic book with my Dungeons and Dragons manuals in my fucking backpack.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
And let me tell you, ladies, you weren't like, hey, let's go down to the comic book shop and then we could make out after. It wasn't happening. I'm sorry, it just fucking wasn't.
To be young now though, like, and to be able to like nerd stuff and have hot girls that like it too.
Holy, dude, I walked the floor.
Dude, the RPG scene is full of hot girls.
It's fucking great, and it's great.
There's no way that happened when we were young.
Awesome.
You know why? And I'll tell you. Here's why. Because the thing that's in your hand right now, Steve, that phone, and like, look, I've been sitting here like checking the score on the game tonight, and like but it's like that. Like, I think we all grew up at a time where we weren't pulled away socially from everybody else, and you literally do not need other people anymore. Like, think about it. You don't have to go to a grocery store to shop. You can just have shit delivered to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out to eat. You can just have it delivered to you. I can watch every movie I want on my phone or on my TV at home. I don't have
to deal with those assholes making noise in the theater.
Exactly. I don't have to be social anymore. But guess what? The things that, like, the simple things, the board games, the RPGs, the fucking comic book store, like the social, those become the social events now, and the things that, like, we were looked down upon for, like, enjoying that. Right. Now it's like that's where everybody goes, and
it's
that's
cool and niche.
Yeah,
now.
totally. And I love it. And I love the fact that the thing that wasn't cool 25 years ago, is cool now, and people love it. I literally just had somebody tonight go, you and Elena should come and play D&D with me.
Right.
And I was like, well, first off, Elena's never played D&D in her life. Right. And I go, and second off, and I literally reached into my bag because I was like, I have my level 3 bard in my bag. I could like start right now if you would like. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm all, no, it's been in here since the last time I played. And he's like,
shit.
He's like, in your work bag. I go,
hey, man, I have some friends who go to a game con in LA 2-3 times a year, big game con, and they've got everything going on, and they go there specifically to play this fucking Dungeons and Dragons game that has been going on for apparently quite a while.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, it's like when you find something that's like that's fun, know, and a lot of it is like, once again, it's born out of this idea of, these guys that created this stuff 40 years ago, 60 years ago at this point, with, with Stan Lee, it's like, but what they've given us is a door that's open and a way to communicate with other people.
Right.
And a lot of characters and ideas. Like, it's like you look at like, Dungeons and Dragons, like Gary Gygax, was not thought of very well in his own time. He just was a guy that created a fucking game,
Right.
But it's like the shit that you created, and you look at it and you're like, man, there was a simplicity to it.
Yeah.
And it was a brilliance to it, And it's like with Stan Lee, it's like, I feel that about this guy at this point. And I'm just bummed because it was like, they originally were talking about doing a Mallrats 2 for a while.
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith was going to get Stan Lee to come back and do Mallrats 2. And I was like, that's great. Like, I would love to have completed that circle. Like, how much fun would that have been? But it's like to be a guy like Stan Lee and be in your own time, to be celebrated for your brilliance, like, nobody gets that.
Nobody gets that.
Nobody gets that. Yeah. And the guy, we're going to literally look back and go, this guy had one of the greatest third acts of his life.
Yes.
Ever.
Oh, for sure.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
him and Betty White, like redefining what, like, they're not even going to, like, at this point, like, Betty White had a whole fucking career before she was Betty White. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before she was like that, the nice old lady on Golden Girls.
And Golden Girls was a fucking 1980s show.
I know, right?
It's one of my daughter's favorite fucking shows,
and
dude.
That was 40 years ago.
She loves it. She'll watch it. She'll just keep watching reruns of it, dude. She's all, this gets better every time I watch one of these, man.
But you think about these people that have had, like, unbelievable third acts, and Stan Lee is totally one of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy's a household name.
Right.
Yep.
My son, who's 6, knows who Stan Lee is.
My students don't know who B.B. King or even Prince were.
It's terrible.
But they know Stan Lee.
Yeah.
It's terrible that they don't know who they are either.
Well, they do now.
Okay,
Because Chris doesn't shut up about it.
I ain't shutting up. They're going to listen to that goddamn Purple Rain today. It's on vinyl.
So, but yeah, but at the end, man, it's like, yeah, I just definitely, it's sad. It's happy, but it's sad. I know the last year was kind of rough. I mean, I'm watching it right now with my wife's grandfather. Like, he was fine, like, in April, and he's 92.
Yeah.
And, man, it's happened fast.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, it's really happened fast.
Oh, dude. Steve Hillenburg also passed this week.
A creator of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
57. Lou Gehrig's disease, I think
Seriously,
it was.
ALS is a
Yeah, so,
Shitty, man. Real shitty.
Yeah, it's been a rough year. It's like it hasn't been all the celebrities like we've had in past years.
No.
But it's been like creators.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, then, Rob Liefeld better watch out. Like, death is coming for him.
Yeah.
So, in threes, right?
In threes.
They're greatest artist of our time. Like, they might.
Shut the leave Liefeld alone, dude.
Well, if he could draw legs, I'd leave him alone.
Oh,
All right.
if he could draw feet. He can definitely draw chests.
He definitely could do that, let me tell you. So, breaking news. So, they canceled Daredevil.
Yeah, that's a surprise. That was just today.
Like, literally,
Not
I'm like
even
looking
a
at my
little
phone.
surprised.
It's like, oh, Daredevil just got canceled. Okay.
I think it's just part of the whole Disney realignment with their own streaming service.
Yeah, I think
And I hope it crashes and burns and they go back to Netflix.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
Well, what's funny is we were literally.
Did you just quote En Vogue?
Fucking A, man. There used to be a guy, I can't remember his name anymore, but we used to, when we told him about him getting laid, we would always follow it up with that part of the song.
Right.
Never gonna happen, never gonna happen. That's funny. But yeah, man, so it's sort of the end of that Netflix run, I think. So.
I think it's a shame because they did some really good stuff and they could still do some good stuff. Because
There's a lot
honestly, season 3 of Daredevil was pretty freaking good. The end was stupid.
Well, they announced that Daredevil will show up in other Marvel properties.
Hey.
That's kind of vague. Like maybe in season 2 of Punisher.
I was gonna say, are we gonna get another? We're getting another season of Punisher, right?
Right. Well, they've already.
Do you think the Punisher will fucking be on Disney's streaming service?
No, I don't. Like not even a little.
Not at all, man.
You can't.
But are you? I mean,
I'm more worried about Deadpool because if this PG-13 thing takes off, are we going to lose our Deadpool?
No, because here's okay. Funny story. So the Russos they've been doing interviews because the Avengers 4 stuff is going to drop soon, and they basically were like, we're done at this point with like Avengers 4. We're going to be done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They go, well, until they do Secret Wars, whenever that's going to happen.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, and for those of you that don't know, Secret Wars happened in the mid-'80s, and it was sort of the original Secret Wars was Battle Planet, so they brought, like, all of these characters from all these different areas and eras of the Marvel comic book universe and had them fight, basically. So, and they just redid it in 2015. They did another version of it, and what they did is instead of bringing just random characters, they brought random universes, since the Marvel universe has been rebooted so many different times.
Yeah.
So there were different characters from different iterations, and that's how they sort of wove everything. They rebooted their universe. So some of the theory is that that we may get a Hugh Jackman Wolverine in a Marvel Cinematic Universe via Secret Wars. So they might bring all of the that's how they're going to bring the X-Men and everything in.
Right.
So just food for thought there. Food for thought.
Yeah.
So
They've definitely been teasing the Hugh Jackman stuff this week.
well, and then they mentioned that they almost brought Daredevil into Infinity War.
Why?
Well, and that's pretty much what they were like. We were going to do it, but it's like there's already a lot of characters, so we were good. So there were 65 characters, so they're like, we don't know that we need another one.
Wow.
But I was like, oh man, I really wish just Daredevil. I don't give a shit about any of the rest of them, but just Daredevil. So
Yeah, they're just... I think that the choice to keep them separate was good.
yeah.
Daredevil, I mean, what's he going to do? I mean, he
could throw his stick at somebody.
He's worse than fucking Hawkeye in that world.
Yeah, but he could have helped out. Like, you could have used him on the street level the same way you used Wang.
I like the street level fucking guys myself.
I do too.
I think there's a place for him. I think there's an audience
Thanos,
for it. Yeah,
he's useless.
Yeah, that's
like Hawkeye's useless.
Well, it was kind of like when they brought in fucking the Winter Soldier too. It was like
he does have a gun.
And I've been saying this, about your favorite character forever now. Black Widow to me has no place.
She's all pew 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 pew.
Yeah. It just doesn't fucking work.
Although I will say this, Hawkeye works for me perfectly in Age of Ultron when him and Scarlet Witch. He's like, look, I'm here shooting a bow and arrow at AI creatures next to a woman who's shooting lasers out of her fingers. It's a pretty weird day.
Yeah, it's
like, if this makes sense.
Yeah, right, it's like, stop trying to make it make sense, But yeah, man, I'm kind of bummed because I mean, look, the Netflix. First off, it's dark and gritty, which I like the dark and gritty.
So do I.
And all of it's dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Every single one of those shows is dark and gritty in its own way.
Right. Except for the second season of Jessica Jones. That was dog shit, dude. That was the best first season of the bunch and the worst second season.
Well, we're getting
I've heard people say the exact opposite. They hated the first season, loved the fucking second.
I'm actually on that boat. I watched it all.
Yeah. And you liked the second season?
I did not enjoy the first season. I had a harder time getting through that than I did Iron Fist.
Tennant's in there. He's the bad guy.
Yeah, she's really unlikable for me.
But that's the point.
I
don't like her.
And she's even less likable in the second season.
I found her more endearing in the second season.
Oh, Jesus. I hated every single character.
There were more characters, so I was not in...
Everybody in that show was...
How's this? That to me is like... It's like Schindler's List. I don't know that I ever need to watch Jessica Jones again. I'm good. So,
they should have had what's-her-name play? Zoe
Deschanel?
Yeah.
Jessica Jones?
Yeah, she could be cute.
You're fired.
She could be cute and sassy.
No. She could do a little song on her ukulele.
Yeah,
she's like, look at me.
She's super cute, dude. That's why I keep watching Elf. I don't like the blonde hair, but she's cute.
No, the blonde hair does not work.
Sure, I have a 60-inch television. Plasma TV. That's all right. Well, let's now that we're just broke some news. You got any dumb shit before we wrap it up?
Real quick, I have a real fucking. This is a winner from Halloween. So my boys for this year's Halloween. First, we were doing some Marvel stuff, and that didn't work out. And then we decided we were going to do Rebel Troopers from Rogue One.
Which is how we ended up with Luke Skywalker, because Melena's like, oh, the boys are doing, Star Wars stuff, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, your son would like to be Luke Skywalker. And I was like, cool.
So I contacted a friend of mine who is an excellent prop maker. And we got some screen grabs of the Scarif Rebel strike team and went about making these costumes. Started with the helmets.
They looked badass.
Right? Did the foam. We're shaping them with the heat gun and making templates and getting it all, and I'm painting these things, all these different colors, and we're doing battle damage and shit on them, and making them look cool. And we're trying to find all the little accessories that go on them and stuff. And then I ordered these tactical vests for them and stuff. I start painting these things, and I go and I get them like kind of cargo pants and long sleeve shirts and shit. And these costumes are looking fucking rocking. I've made great. 2 of them. Yeah. Right. And I gotta admit, I spent a little bit of money on them, making them. Because we're also going to go to WonderCon, and I'm going to even kind of spruce them up for WonderCon to be a little bit more screen accurate. And so get all this done. And Halloween day, the wife picks the boys up, and I'm already at home, and they get them. We're all going to meet with Ron and some other friends of ours who've got kids all around the same age. We're going to go trick-or-treating. And Vincent comes in. He's still fucking wearing his costume from his day at school and from his Halloween parade at his daycare thing. And Victor is not wearing anything at all.
Like naked?
No, I mean, he's wearing clothes, but he's just not wearing a costume. I said, "Hey, buddy, where's your costume? We gotta jam, guys." And the wife was like, we got a bit of a problem. He's like, I'm going to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man was 2 years ago. Last year he was a Jawa. God.
He wants to be original, dude.
He wants to be fucking Spider-Man again.
Don't tell him about the Spider-Man costume.
Well, when I had originally bought the fucking Spider-Man costumes for him, he was a little too small. So I cut the fucking legs just to make him work, right?
Okay.
So now he's a little too tall. So now
shorts, he's wearing capri pants.
But he fucking wanted to wear this, man.
Did it anyway, didn't he?
And I had to bite my fucking lip so hard. I was pissed. But I was like, this is your Halloween, buddy. So wear your Spider-Man costume.
Hell no.
And the whole time I'm like, son of a fuck.
Steve,
do
you not recall last Halloween when Ronald Andrews showed up as Harry Potter?
Yes.
Do you not recall me telling you that the wife and I, spent all this money so we could be the Malfoys?
Right.
And our son, fucking 3 days before Halloween, decides, you know what, Dad? I don't like being a bad guy. I want to be a good guy. And I said, son, we are already going to be the Malfoys. And my wife said, well, we could still dress up. And I go, the costumes makes no sense if I'm just fucking Lucius Malfoy walking around the neighborhood for no apparent reason.
Yeah, I do remember that now, yeah. Yeah,
Hundreds of dollars wasted because my child wants to be the good guy.
I mean, I took a fucking day off of work.
No,
right?
You're going
to go out to my buddy's house so we could build this shit, and no. I was like,
Steve was like, I was like, hey, I thought you built Scarif Troopers for both of them, and he goes, mother, don't fucking mention it.
I was so pissed, man. I was so pissed, dude. So, needless to say, he went as Spider-Man again.
Oh, hell no.
And he didn't even have a mask, which was the best part.
No, last year, dude, he was a Jawa. It was just a store-bought one last year. He didn't want to put the hood on, so he just looked like a fucking Irish monk.
Okay.
I was like, what's this kid supposed to be? He's a fucking monk, apparently.
Not into the cosplay.
He's not into wearing shit on his head. Now, Vincent would not take that shit off. Oh. He was asleep in it when we took him home. Oh, yeah. Man.
Really?
Yeah. And when we got him in the house, I said, no, I would keep it on. You can't sleep with your helmet on, dude. So
I know about kids that do it all the time, sleep with helmets on. So
Darian has a helmet.
Did she really?
He was fucking, so Vince was all about it. But then he was like, where's my gun? I was like, I'm fucking making you the gun too right now. Because that means I'm going to carry the fucking gun all night long, dude. Right. So I'm going to make him the gun for WonderCon. We did
this year all of Ronald Andrews stuff because he went as Luke Skywalker from episode 4 from Star Wars, New Hope. And it was all custom made, all that stuff for him. So it was as screen accurate as we could get a 6-year-old to be, with the simpleness of that.
We get to the house. We're all going to meet up for trick-or-treating. And one of the kids that shows up is wearing a Poe Dameron costume. So immediately Vincent looks at me and goes, I want that instead. And you're like, just get your bag.
Yeah.
You get out the door before I kick you in your little ass right now, okay?
He looked good, though. Like, we had a little Star Wars group. It was kind of fun.
It was cool.
And Spider-Man.
It was fun. And Spider-Man, with no mask. So.
And then the Polans, who were dressed as weird Elsa stuff. I don't know. So, I don't know.
It was funny, man. He has that crossbow. And fucking Dave, dude, he goes, oh, let me see that. And shoots his one fucking dart, right into the fucking storm drain. And Matt looked at him like, fuck, dude. I was like, oh, shit. Keep walking.
It was gone.
It was fucking gone forever, dude.
It was gone.
So it was fun.
Kind of asking for it.
That was fucking funny.
Nice,
the kids had a great time. And let me tell you, dude, I made sure that none of that candy had any meth.
Oh.
Or razor blades.
Okay.
I didn't find any pot candy.
Damn.
Any pot candy? Is that
people were saying that. I was like, get the fuck out of here with nobody's giving your kids that pot candy. You know how expensive that shit is?
Not that, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, where is all this free drugs? How can I get in on this?
Right? I'm trick-or-treating next year, motherfuckers.
All right.
I want some edibles.
Let's wrap it up right there. This has been fun. It's been a while since we've been back. So
but tonight I'm not going to do my normal checkout. So you guys go ahead and say what you want. I have a little something I want to say real quick.
Go ahead.
No, you sign out. I'll go last.
You're going to talk after the sign out?
Okay, real quick. A Stan Lee quote, guys, for everybody out there.
That's good.
Okay? Remember, this is probably one of his best quotes. Comics are like boobs. They look good on the computer, but you'd rather hold one in your hand.
I like that.
I think we can close
That's a great way to go. I'm
right.
just going to end the show by saying Excelsior.
True believer.
And we hope you guys are having a nerd life crisis.
Music for the Nerd Life Crisis podcast is provided by Big Papa and the TCB. All music available at bptcb.com or at iTunes. The Nerd Life Crisis is recorded at the Inland Blue Studios. Make sure to subscribe to the Nerd Life Crisis at iTunes and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nerd Life Crisis.